pickleball is a great way to burn some calories and help release some unhealthy weight. And it's fun. Dr. Seuss says it's fun having fun. And we are better people when we are out having a good time. And sometimes, let's get real. Exercise isn't always fun. Cardiovascular wise, this is a great sport. Our agility is getting better whenever we play. And so that helps us live longer. I like it too, because it really is good for people of all ages and all fitness levels. So my question for you is, are you playing the sport yet?
You're listening to the Visibly Fit Podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Wendie Pett. And every week, I'll give you holistic, practical solutions for everyday issues related to nutrition, healing, functional fitness, and behavior modifications. As a naturopath, fitness expert, and wellness coach for over 20 years, my goal is to empower you to reach for greater health and to rise up to your next level of living in mind, body, and spirit. You were created with greatness in mind. It's time to own it. Are you with me? Then let's dive in.
Hey there. Welcome to the Visibly Fit Podcast. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Do you know what the fastest growing sport in America is? It is pickleball. That's right. You might have guessed it. Pickleball for the third year in a row. So my question for you is, are you playing the sport yet? Now, I love it. I wasn't going to play it. We were going to, my husband and I were going to kind of boycott it, so to speak, but we caved and we love it now. Now, if you are not familiar with the sport, it is a racket sport, and it combines tennis, badminton, and table tennis, kind of those elements. And it is so much fun. It's maybe a little addictive, I'm thinking. I don't know. My husband and I, we play on average of about 3 days a week, sometimes more. But I know many people that play daily and sometimes several times a day. To quote Dr. Seuss, he says, "It is fun to have fun." And yes, it is. It is very fun to have fun. And it's important to have fun, because when we're having fun and when we're doing something we enjoy, it helps to release creativity. It helps to reduce stress. But I'm telling you, Todd and I, we were originally not going to go after this sport at all. I mean, we caved. We did. We thought this sport was just for quote unquote older people, right? Old people. But once not all of them, but a lot of our tennis courts started to convert to pickleball courts, we kind of just gave it a go. And well, we got hooked. We got hooked pretty quickly, mainly because it offers a great workout, but not just for the body. It also is a great workout for the brain. And we're going to talk about that a bit on today's show. But first, I want to talk about how this game of pickleball, how did it come about? And what are some of the stats around this game of pickleball? Well, first of all, a lot of people think that pickleball got its name from a dog named Pickles, and that's not true. So the founders of pickleball are Joel Pritchard, Bill Bell, and Barney McCallum. And this dog, Pickles, I guess, came into the picture 3 years after this sport was started. And this sport started out of just fun, just trying to get creative. And it started in 1965 in an area called Bainbridge Island near Seattle, Washington. And it all started with a couple families that like to get together over the summer. And they had some teenage kids that, were quote unquote bored or, had nothing to do. And so Bill and Joel, and I believe Barney came into the picture a little bit later, but they thought, all right, fine. You think we have nothing to do? You're bored? Let's figure out something to do. We're going to create something to do. We're going to find a game, find something in the yard that we can put together. And by golly, we're going to have some fun. And so I love this about these families, that they were not willing to let their children, their teenagers sit around, be bored, and not do anything. They wanted them to be physical and all get together and have some family time. And so Bill and Joel, they went out in the yard. They found like a wiffle ball. They found a badminton net. They found a bat, a few other things, and they started coming up with some ideas and some rules around hitting this ball over the net. And I guess the net started out as at kind of a badminton range, so a little bit higher, but then they ended up dropping it down to tennis level. And they just started making rules, and it began the game of pickleball. Now, I think of this and how, one person's creative idea has turned into a phenomenon. Like, it is the fastest growing sport in the country for the last 3 years. I mean, there are tournaments, there are pro players, and it wouldn't surprise me if pickleball gets into the Olympics sometime soon. I mean, basketball is in the Olympics. And did you know that basketball was started at the YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts? I always have a hard time saying it, Massachusetts, but there you go. It actually started with, I think it was 1891. A gentleman by the name of James Naismith started it. And in 1892, they began playing a little public game between students and faculty of the YMCA, and they used peach baskets, like, wooden peach baskets, and they had them up high, and they took I think soccer balls, and there was no dribbling or any of that then. And they threw them into the peach baskets. And I think the janitor had to literally get a ladder, get the ball out of the peach basket, and then they could keep going on with the game. But that's how it all started. And look where it is now. So I love that. I love how when we start getting creative and start doing things for fun, man, it just starts to catch on. But pickleball, going back to pickleball, it got its name not from the dog Pickles that came into the picture 3 years later, but it got its name from, I think, Joan, who is Joel's wife. She was really kind of into college rowing racing. Like, she loved to watch crew. She loved to watch the sport, and they were fans. And I, from what I understand, there's something called a pickle boat. And a pickle boat is kind of the last boat that comes in to finish this rowing race. And the pickle boat is usually the non-starters of the crew, the rowing race. They're non-starters. They're not the best of the best, right? They're kind of just thrown into a boat and good luck. And they usually finish last. And so that's the pickle boat. Well, I think Joan saw pickleball as a bunch of things just thrown together, and these are a bunch of non-starters, and we'll just call it pickleball. And I guess it just caught on from there. Pickleball, that's how it got its name. So it's kind of fun. But it's really interesting how it's just taken off, especially the last several years. And I love this sport for so many reasons. Again, we're going to talk about the physical health benefits and the mental health benefits. But my husband and I, we have so much fun. We play singles, and it is just such a great workout. Most people play doubles, but you can do both. You can even play with 3 people. There's all kinds of creative ways that you can play. But the Association of Pickleball Professionals last year, they estimated that there are 48.3 million people that play in the United States, and that there are over 11,000 places across the country to play this sport. And so it is catching on. There are more and more courts being created. But I laugh because as I was looking at the stats, and as I said, Todd and I were not going to cave to this old person sport. Well, guess what? The largest demographic of pickleball, 30% of all players, are between the ages of 18 and 34 years of age. Yeah, that's right. 18 to 34. It is all the rage. And there's so many different places popping up. Like they've got places here in Minneapolis area, like Pints and Pickle, or beer and pickleball. And then I think there's another one that's has juices and pickleball, and all these different indoor kind of fun places that you can take the family. You can go on a date. You can, whatever. You can be active indoors playing the sport, but also have food and drink and that kind of thing, and just have a fun time around it. But they said that the pickleball paddle industry, check this out, $152 million industry. That's really amazing. Seriously. So that's taking off. I mean, there's all different kinds of paddles you can purchase, from beginner paddles to several $100 paddles. They probably even have $1,000 paddles. I don't know, but it's amazing the different ways in which these paddles are made. I mean, they're all the same shape, but they're made with different, different wood and different whatever. I don't even know what they're made of. I really don't, but you can get them on different, there's different weights of them. The grips are different. I mean, all the different things, kind of like a tennis racket, right? You got to find the one that works for you. And so it's quite the industry, but I love playing. We're a little competitive, my husband and I. We have to be kinder to ourselves because we're hard on ourselves if we're not making the shot that we thought we should have made, or got the ball and, got to where we needed to be fast enough or whatever. We have to be kinder to ourselves. We're not upset with one another if we lose the game, but we really kind of get on to ourselves. And so we are encouraging one another to talk nicer to ourselves so that we can have even more fun as we play this sport. But what we love about it too is that it's just such a great way to get the heart pumping. I mean, cardiovascular wise, this is a great sport. Whether you play singles or doubles, singles is going to be a greater workout, in my opinion, but it's going to be either way, singles or doubles, you're going to get your heart rate up, and you're going to find that you're going to be promoting heart health and even getting more endurance, right? Endurance training. And so if you are looking to find a fun way to manage your weight, this might be it. Like, pickleball is a great way to burn some calories and help release some unhealthy weight. And it's fun. Again, I'm going back to the fun. Dr. Seuss says it's fun having fun. And we are better people when we are out having a good time. And sometimes, let's get real. Exercise isn't always fun. We need to be intentional about it. We need to be intentional about what we do. And sometimes we need to find that thing that makes us laugh, that we feel confident in doing, and that it becomes maybe even a social opportunity. I think about how pickleball really is a social opportunity. If you've never played the sport, I have found that, man, players are very quick to help you if you've never played before. In fact, my husband and I were on the court the other day, and we were just playing, and then the guy on the other court was like, whispering over to me like, hey, if you would do this, this, and this on your serve, it would be even better. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool. Thank you. And so they're gracious. People want you to become better. And it just, I don't know, it's just a fun sport. And again, it's social. So if you don't have a group of people to go with, that's okay. You can go to courts and just kind of place your paddle in the paddle lineup, if you will. And there's rotations, and you can play with different levels of people. They'll usually teach you how to play if you've never played before. They will be gracious and kind, and you'll get to know people, and you will get better. I promise. So go. If you've never been, go. And if you have been before, but you haven't been very much or very often, start planning on going more, because I promise you're going to get better, and you're going to improve your coordination. And that's another thing that I really like, because these paddle sports, racket and paddle sports are known to really help us live longer because we are working our hand-eye coordination. We are getting better with our mobility, our quick movements, right? We're becoming, our agility is getting better whenever we play. And so that helps us live longer. And so I want to encourage you to find a sport, definitely with a paddle or a racket, and pickleball might be it. But it's also great because it helps to strengthen your muscles, whether it's your arms, your legs, your core, because everything is working, right? You're moving, you're swinging, you're reacting, and you are working your body in such a way where you are um, improving your joint mobility. You're able to become more flexible, right? I've noticed that whenever I'm playing that, I might be going one direction, thinking the ball is going that way, but then all of a sudden I have to have quick reflex to go the other direction because that's where Todd decided to hit it. And so the response time gets better. And that's so fun to watch how we become better as we play the sport. And again, I don't want you to be hard on yourself, just like I'm telling myself and Todd not to be hard on ourselves. We want to have fun, but I want you to notice how you become better, quicker, more flexible, and have more agility as you play, because that's all part of it. But it's also, pickleball can be very low impact, even though it's a great sport and can be, it can be high impact a little bit, but it can also be low impact, especially if you're playing with doubles. I mean, compared to other racket sports, it's definitely low impact. Compared to, tennis, you're not going to be doing as much running. You're not going to be as hard on your body. It's definitely easier on your joints, but I like it too because it really is good for people of all ages and all fitness levels. My husband and I have been very surprised. Sometimes we've played with some other people that we haven't ever played with, and maybe they're a little bit older, maybe they don't look as fit or whatever, but oh my goodness, they can play. They are unbelievable players. And so do not ever judge the person that you're about to play. You might be surprised. But I also love that it's so good for our mental health. It helps to relieve stress. We've got to have a way to release that stress because we all are dealing with some sort of stress or another. And when we engage in physical activity, whether it's pickleball or whatever you want it to be, we're just talking about pickleball today, but it helps to reduce stress and anxiety, and it's going to promote overall mental health and well-being. And so what is it for you? How are you finding a way to release stress? Maybe pickleball's it. Hopefully you don't get stressed as you play pickleball. Hopefully it helps you to relieve stress with those positive endorphins being released. And I believe it's going to help release your stress. But it's also great for, like I mentioned, it helps with the social aspect of just life and finding connections. A lot of people are trying to find friends. Well, as you're an adult, it's kind of harder to find friends, or if you move a lot, this is an opportunity to find people that have a similar interest. And that way it helps to form those connections. It helps you hopefully reduce feelings of loneliness or maybe isolation, but it gives you an opportunity for social activity. And we need that always. We need to be social. I think especially like after the pandemic, right? All of that time frame, and it's been several years since, of course, but there's so many people since then that are still not being social. So I really want to encourage you to get out, have some fun, because it will help you have a more longevity and vitality, and it'll help you have better overall well-being. And it also, pickleball is going to help your cognitive function, right? You've got to like plan ahead in the sense of kind of problem solving. Like, okay, if I hit the ball over here, it's probably going to come back over this direction. And so you've kind of got to map it out. I mean, quickly, but you enhance your problem solving skills, and it's definitely going to enhance your cognitive function. And I don't know if a lot of people think about that or not as it pertains to pickleball, but it really does help. So play pickleball. I'm going to be an advocate. Go and try it, because you will have this release of endorphins. You're going to feel better. You're going to, if you're feeling kind of down and out, depressed, I promise you, pickleball will get you out of that funk in no time. It's going to also help you with your focus and your concentration, because you have to realize that, people that are playing are different levels in their skill. Some people are playing really fast paced. Some are maybe lobbing it over to you. So you've got to have different focus and concentration on how to return that ball. And so it takes mental clarity, and you're going to improve in that as well. And so I love that pickleball can boost both physical and mental health. Now, you may have something that you do that you love. I want to encourage you, keep doing it, because the more you move, the better you will feel. When we are stagnant and we are sitting and we're doing nothing, our body literally starts to atrophy. It starts to shut down. You've heard me say this before on this podcast, but your body starts to shut down and become more atrophied just after 20 minutes of sitting. 20 minutes. You must move your body, and you need to work against gravity. So if you're sitting, stand. If you're standing, do some calf raises. But also find an activity, a sport that will get you moving, that you enjoy and that you love, and will keep you more agile. All right. I promise you will have a better lifespan, and you will have more fun when you find that sport. So I am promoting pickleball. I would love to hear your thoughts about pickleball, and if you play or not. So give me a little shout out on social media. I'm sure I'll post this there. Tell me, do you love it? How many days a week do you play? And what's your favorite thing about the sport? And did you know that the way that pickleball was named was because of rowing races from crew? Say that 5 times fast. Rowing races. Did you know that, or did you think it was from Pickles the dog? I'm just curious. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Visibly Fit. My goal is to inspire you, to encourage you, to get you to move your body. So I hope this encourages you to do that. Feel free to comment, share this with others, but send it out to your pickleball friends, and let's keep this sport going. All right. All right. Blessings. And we will catch you same time, same place next week. Be blessed.
Well, that's a wrap for today's show. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love spending this time with you. To learn more and get more free resources, just head on over to wendiepett.com. And thank you in advance for sharing this episode and this podcast, following and subscribing, not only to this podcast, but finding me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, I'm probably there too. Until next week and our next podcast time together, make it a visibly fit day.